Except for this one thing.
This is a Jayco Cherokee. Do not buy a Jayco. This roof is a mess. Wasn't put on right. And Jayco does not wish to compensate what it'll take to get it back. So much for Jayco. So I would strongly encourage you not to buy a Jayco. The insert trim is missing. We haven't done anything. We haven't taken this out. We just got it back in here. You know what we got right there? Looks like it's got a belly. See all that? I ain't gonna make it. I ain't gonna make it at all. And we put the buffer strips on there. Now this is just cheap rubber. That's all it is. You got them right here as well. And then this is that great dot cord though. Right here. That's my guess. It's die cord. I don't know what else I use. I don't know what it looks underneath there. I pulled some of these up in the leak on this side right here, but that actually seems to be stuck, surprisingly. It is like these bubbles right in here. See those bubbles? You got all these bubbles right here. So we got to get new. But Jayco says there's no problem with it, so they're not gonna pony up enough to replace it. They barely come up with half. You know, this is die cord. This is why I just load the die cord. They exploit people's ignorance to roof systems. And what they say is, go put some more on. You can see how clean that is. Eventually that'll breach. This is a 2019, so it hasn't really seen very much of anything. So, but that's real shiny. It's not supposed to be shiny. But like I said, surprisingly, it's stuck more than I would figure. It is stuck more than I would figure for a die cord. A lot of times I can slide this right up underneath there and pop them out like donuts. You know? So, well, I said I'm so proud. And that's, I'm just assuming, you know what they say about that, assuming that is die cord. I don't know what it is. Maybe they wised up and bought some other stuff. You know? But it's definitely a self-leveling type of product. So you can tell there's nothing on the corner right there. That's obvious right here. There's nothing there. That's just the decking. So that'll breach out pretty soon. And then like I said, all these bubbles, all of that. That's terrible. This is a real shoddy job. Look at this one. Gee whiz. You know that isn't going to last. And look at that tool again. I like to go around and see how loose they are. And like I said, these ones, I really am surprised at how that this is actually stuck as much as it is. You know. So that's usually where you'll get your leaks. They'll come in this way, and then they just start going every which way. You know. So. But this is what we use. It's just a cement joining tool. I just blunted the end. That's all. You just take it around. That's how you want to check things. That's how we check our welds on our when we do our roofs. With the same tool. We got another tool for it as well, but you know. Yep. But eventually, like this sits us in the sun very much. This will release. This will have plasticizers, and then they cause this to come loose. But like I said, this is brand new. So it hasn't seen very much of anything except for our shop. So a little bit right there. But like I said, it looks like it is stuck. I will give it that. Look at there. If this is, it's got to be a different product. That would be my guess. But I've never known any of that stuff to stick too well. A little hole right here. So that's what you want to look for. Get that. I slobbered it on here. I slobbered all this caulking on here. That doesn't look well. all the water is going to get down on this little track right here. And when it does, it will run water all the way down the bottom, and then it'll leak. We take all these out. We don't reuse this stuff, this junk. I'll put some new stuff in there, and it'll seat in this track, and it'll seat over the track, and it'll keep all the water out in the future. So, but we'll get rid of all that nonsense. We check around here in the lights. So we're going to go over this thing pretty good. The problem is when we do this right here, our turn bar is going to be back here. So we're going to try our best to clean this mess up. That's crazy. That's let's see, what the heck? Yeah, 2 inches of extra caulk on there on this side, and over here a good close to 1 inch anyways. That's just nonsense. It probably gets a little wider down there, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of slobbered self-leveling, you know. That's and like I said, there's no insert trim in here, so my guess, and it doesn't look like there's any sealant on here, on the top here. That's what I'm looking at now. Probably just some butyl. We're going to take it all apart, obviously, and put a new roof on it. But that should have been all sealed up, you know, and it should have had the insert trim on there. I guess that must be an upgrade. Now they're going to upgrade everything. Did you want the roof on it? We could just leave it right off right now, and you could just know what you're in for. That's I just sharpened my knife. One of my subs saw how bad my knife was. He told me to sharpen my knife. Should get a dull knife.
He does.
So let's see, we get up underneath here. That's how they do the joints. So that's just drywall mesh. That's all that is. It's just drywall mesh. There's hardly any glue under it. See that? That's probably what propagated that. I mean, you can see right here, there's no glue there. You can see some sporadic amounts of glue, but there's not a lot of glue. Obviously you get some there, but it's sticking. But you should be able to see it, like right here, there's no glue. It's just, they thinned out that 1 gallon that they use. Thinned it out real good to make sure it stayed on there. Let's see, put it back under some, mix it with some more water or something, and they thin it out or something, I don't know. Alright, now I'm just babbling. Well, we're going to take this whole thing apart and show you the rest of it. This is going to be the same way right here. So you can't roll these roofs like we roll ours, because it'll wad up like this. You can't do that. There's nothing underneath here. There. Let's see what we got on the other side. I'm always amazed at how shoddy they put things together. Like I said, there's nothing there. Nothing at all. They didn't even put the drywall mesh. Doggone, now they're leaving that out. Well, how cheap can you go? Talk about lowering the bar. Do the limbo of manufacturing here. So, but nothing there, so we know that right there. And now I'm curious to know, but I'm sure we'll see it when we take it all apart. There's nothing there either. There's some. Must have ran out and didn't want to go get another roll. That's what that is. So, alright, well, let us take this thing apart and get a good roof on it so she can go camping. I'm looking at this lens right here. One of the things I noticed, look at all that roofing and everything up underneath there. That looks terrible. Why wouldn't they not have put a white one on? So that's the white you're seeing, that's the inner lens. This is the outer lens. It's got the outer lens. You can see it wrapping around over there. So it's got the outer lens, all right, and that's the inner lens. So you see all the framing and everything. That looks tacky. That does. Well, we probably end up going to put a white lens on there so it looks better. That's for sure. Who the heck wants to see all that framing and everything when they're up here? It just, that really looks piss poor. Also, I'm gonna, since I got it right there, see that right that corner? On a rubber roof, you need to make a circle on that, and if you make a circle, it will prevent it from ripping. That's what it does. That one's already wadded up over in this corner. And let's see if I can see this corner over here. That one's all chased up inside there as well. Well, that's what you want to do if you want to use rubber. We don't ever use rubber. Actually, I've never installed a roll of rubber in my life. Ever. All the years I did commercial work, I always saw all the problems with rubber, and I didn't want to even get on that boat. I said, heck no, it is just a starter roof. It may have its place, but all the work that we did, it didn't have a place. So if you've got something really flat without protrusions coming through it, sure. Well, if you've got protrusions coming through it, you don't want to use rubber. It's too problematic to seal. So, alright, well that's our Cherokee, Jayco, I guess. I think they're a Jayco. Pretty sure. I'll have to check on it. Okay, we are getting some, we're just reskinning it, that's all. We're just reskinning this to get it down. It's not a structural deal. This is just a cosmetic deal because I want this roof to lay nice and smooth. It'll be easier for us in the long run to put it down, and we just think it'll look better. So that's why we're reskinning it. So, and we just put some glue on there just to hold it in place, but we're going to staple this one down because it's just going into the previous decking, and it's just shallow staples with a little bit of glue. It'll be fine. So that's what we're up to. And now the roof's going to go on here in just a few minutes. Now we're using glue on her. Does it get glued? And then these were so tight, we don't need buffer strips on this. This is that tight. It's going to be fine. Alright, passenger side already been rolled out. Now we're gluing. Driver's side. That's what he's doing. See, glue. We're going to glue it, roll it. You're ready to rock and roll. Alright, now we're going to roll out the roofing. That's all we do. Just roll it out. And once we roll it out, we go over it with our balance roller, and we go over it with the heavy roller. It's easy peasy. So there's no glue on that side because that's the part that hangs over. We don't want it getting all on the side of the coach. So we make a mark so we know where to glue to. So you don't end up with it sticking all over the side of the coach. And there are the rollers. We got a balance roller right there. Oh, got a big one here.
Yes, sir.
And that's it.
Right.
So that's just a pre-tack. And now we're going to go over it with the big one. We are done with our little Cherokee. She's all set, ready for the prom. Nice and clean. So we've got our logo on here, rv-ri.com, and there's the month and the year we put it on. So we want to follow up with inspections, and that helps us to make sure the roof's performing the way it should throughout the years. Also, if she ever goes to sell this, you know, she can say, hey, I got a new roof on this. It was just put on February 20th, so you know, no one can try to talk her down and say, oh, I'm going to have to put a roof on it, because they're all bad. But you can see we've got our skylight lens here all sealed up. We've got counter flashing here, and I'll go around the front even and show you. We've got some plumbing boots there. We've got another plumbing boot here. So if by chance something came and knocked this off, this is all sealed. Everything's sealed, and that's actually pretty high there, so I doubt water's just going to follow in there. But we'll say it pops off. You know, water's just going to go down into the holding tank. We use these little plumbing caps, and they just snap in. They got little claws on them, so they hold on to the pipe pretty well. And we got the counter flash right here. So as the water is rushing across the coach, you get caught in a heavy storm. Water is just rushing across. It's going to come up and hit in here, and it's going to wash out. It's not going to be able to jump up there. So what that does is minimizes any erosion effect. All of this is all heat welded all the way around. So you don't have to do any caulking on there at all. And we've got them all the same way. They all have counter flashing on them, and they also have the flashing to weld it back in. Same with this big old skylight here. If you look at our air conditioner, we got 2 stands on the back there just to give it some balance. And then now going on the same lines where we have all that water rushing across, up underneath this air conditioner is a foam gasket. So what's going to happen is if we put this piece of counter flash in the front, but you're going to have water still running down, and I don't want it to run down and trickle into that little foam gasket that's up underneath there. So we put this on the front, and what that does is it makes the water go down below the counter flash, so it'll wash out and it's not going to get back into the air conditioner at all. Now the base on the sides, it has some like corrugation, you know, it's got a profile in there, and the water isn't going to make it all the way back there before it already trickles off, especially with all the wind and everything blowing off it. So that's the purpose of the front piece there. And you can see we got the same thing here on the antenna, same type of counter flash, and everything has 2 strikes on it. One of the things we did is we took out all this crummy insert trim right here. Took all of that out, all of this. This is a new piece. They just had another piece put on there, but the piece they had, they just put screws in it. So we took all of that out and we replaced it, and I'll show you what we replaced it with. This is a much better product. You can't actually buy this in black. I had to special order this, and I had to buy almost 2 miles of it just to make sure that I got it in the black. RV industry doesn't want to spend the extra money, so they don't make it. So when I inquired, you can buy it in white, but you can't buy it in black. We also went around the lights, and then we got 2 strikes of caulking going down here. So this gutter piece, this is what the gutter awning rail, that's glued back in and caulked, if you will, back into here, into the frame of the coach on the side. And then when it burps up, when the caulking burps up, we strike it down, and then once that cures, we put another bead on there. Once we get that bead on, we wait for it to cure, and then we go over it again. So we get basically, if you will, you may want to say 3 strikes. Everything's got to be primed. You may be able to see a little bit of jaundice right in there, and that's the primer. So we try to keep it just where we need the caulking to lay, and not anymore, because you just don't want to see all that goldish yellow look to it. It's just, you know, kind of unsightly. So we take our time to make sure we got to paint it in. So let me explain the product. This is a Carlisle. That's the name of the material. It's a 60 mil TPO. It's Carlisle's brand. It's right here. So it's Carlisle Syntec. It's called Sherwell TPO. It's a 60 mil. This is a 20-year roof system right here. So on the back you can see it's got all those little squares. There's a mesh built into this, and what that does is give it some strength against you know, tree branches and things that may fall on. It'd be really hard to puncture this roof, but even if you did, we can use the same material and we can do a hot patch on it, and that's the end of that. So that'll, you don't have to go replace the whole roof like you would on an RV roof, because RV roofs you can't weld to them, even if they are TPO or even if they are PVC. Very hard to weld because they're very thin. You'll end up burning it before you get anything to actually stick to it. But they also don't make the detail for other components. But anyhow, on this roof, that's what you can do, is just put a hot patch on it if you got one, you know, if you had a tree branch go through it. All right, so we got the 2 strikes going across there. Then the insert trim that I was speaking about that comes along the side here, that insert trim right here, right here, this right here, we replaced it. She didn't have the black, but hers was in black, but I'm saying she didn't have the white on this one. But this is the same one that she had in there. And if you look at this one, see, it slides in the track. And as this is sitting on there, like this piece is, if it's sitting on there, you could potentially get water down inside this crack here, and it'll roll, because it'll just roll right around there. This isn't that sealed. You can see right here just how easy it wants to slide around. So what we did is we replaced it with this other product, and what this one has, see if I can get a close-up on it, you can see there's a groove in it. See that groove? That groove sits inside the track, underneath it, and over it, so it locks all the water out. Much better product, much better product. And it's also very hard to move around. It is a really good vinyl, and it is really hard to move. Like, you can't really just push that out too easily. So that's what we got on there. And other than that, she is ready to go. We appreciate you watching. Now, if you have any questions or anything, you can give us a call, or you can jump to our website, rv-ri.com or rvroofinstall.com. Our email is contactus@rvroofinstall.com. And our phone number here is 423-475-7663. Probably going to go over this with a little dust from working today. Some of the dust got on there from this other project we got going on over here. But give us a call if you have any questions. We really appreciate you watching. And you know, if you comment on the video, or if you have any questions, I usually do pretty good at responding to those. So and I'll be glad to help you out with some pointers. But keep in mind, these are not DIY videos. These videos are intended for the customer so they can see all the work we did on their coach. That's the scope of the video. But if you pick up a trick or a tip or two, hey, that's great. But we don't sell any of the curves. We don't sell any of the boots. All these are all proprietary to us. I designed all these myself. So we don't sell them. I know a lot of folks call us up and say, hey, can I buy this? Can I buy that? We don't sell material. Actually, we don't sell anything here at all. We don't even sell the insert trim either. We're just a service shop, so we don't sell anything. But well, like I said, we appreciate you watching, and like and subscribe and all that jazz if you like these videos, and because we try to post them up just as quick as we can get them done. And we got this big one over here. That one's Big Montana. You'll see that one up here in probably a few weeks, because that one's got a horror show. That one over there there's a lot of work to it. But again, thanks for watching. So what we do after we do a video, we walk around and make sure everything's okay. We want to make sure everything looks good, you know, pleasing to the eye. A couple little burps on here we didn't like, so that's why it's back. Just didn't like the way the caulking was sitting on there, so we just cleaned it up. But anyhow, that's easy peasy bananas there. This is something that we come across. Look at this. Go down here. There's one here. These are drain slots. So, and the purpose for it is when water gets down in here, it's supposed to hit there and drain out of here. However, what if it gets in here? And this is just a snap in. It pops out. See, you get water in there. It's got to run down here into the wall, all the way down, right? And probably rot this out. And this little piece, see, right here. That's so you can flip the window in either direction. Before, they never had them at the top. That's a big concern to me, because I'd be worried about water getting in there and then rotting my windows out. You know, rotting all of this out. So if you have one of these coaches, you know, with the aluminum siding, which I'm not a fan of, but nonetheless, you want to check. This is one piece here. Here's another piece. I'll back up so you can see. This piece is one piece right here. And you can see the way it is. It just doesn't have the contour, but you can tell where the panel ends, right? And that's your trouble spot, right up inside there. Because if you're traveling in the rain, the water's going to trickle along here, along this bead, and the wind is going to push it up into here. And it'll get up in there, and it'll get down inside here and right out this corner. So that needs to be sealed really good. This one here has a pretty good gap in it right there. You can actually see how open that is. So we're going to load that, and even the one above it, see? So we're going to clean, you know, get that a little tighter. And then some of the other things I was looking at over here, like this is not sealed. You need to have that sealed behind there. This little latch. It's a latch holder for when you open the door, right? Storage latch. You need to have that sealed. And then right in here, I don't like this either. This is a brand new coach. They can't afford to give you any caulking. That is how cheap they are getting. I mean, every year I see these things come in, they chintz the customer that one more little extra. Let's chintz them on this, let's chintz them on that. None of this is really sealed in there, you know. It's just a gasket in there, I guess, and they just push the siding up against it. But I would really like to see that thing. Well, you can see a little bit of butyl in there, I guess. That really should be loaded. It should be loaded up good to keep all that water out, you know. So those are some of the things I don't like about these, especially the aluminum ones. But like I said, I believe the Cherokee, when I looked them up, they were made by Jayco. But you come across one of these here, their warranty is terrible. They didn't pay for this roof. I gotta tell you right now, they paid a little bit, and they were arguing with us to put a good roof on. And we're trying to push this customer to go to one of their crummy RV centers. That's the only way they would do it. But you know, if it went to a crummy RV center, especially as little as they were paying, she was gonna end up with a terrible roof. They wouldn't have done a quality job. I mean, so you can see, like right here, that's a cushion. Now, I don't know what this sticker says, and I'm gonna go see, because I see them on all the windows. I gotta find out what that is. Let's go see. I didn't have to get inside. Those are emergency hatch window labels. That's what they are. But there is a label on one of these windows, and it says to replace the gasket up underneath. Here, there's a little foam gasket, and those are on the fancy ones that have all the glass. The ones that have all the glass on it. That's the one you'll see that sticker, and there's a thin little gasket. That's all that's on there. If you go to caulk those windows, which you can, make sure you open the window, because if you're not careful, usually the windows will open up a little bit on the bottom, but if you're not careful, you'll seal it shut. So that was similar to the Viking we did. If you look at the Viking video, you'll see what we're talking about. So, well, we're gonna see if we can't, address a couple of these concerns, and help out with a couple of things that I think are serious enough where it would warrant a little bit of attention right now before it hits the road. So we pop the slide out, and we want to check some stuff. You want to be able to look down here, make sure there's caulking there, which doesn't appear to be any there to me. No. Let's see if you can see where my light is. See if I'm doing this right. Doesn't look like there's any caulking in there. So you're going to get water that'll trickle down. When it trickles down, it'll get in here and it'll rot out that floor. So they do have some on the side here. They got a little bit on there, but this other top one up there, this one that's going across, nothing up there, nothing on the other side. So water's going to get in there and it's going to just rot everything away. Yep, that's what they do. So we're gonna put a little bit of caulking up there at least, but in order to get the caulking to stick up there, you can see the little bit of roofing, a little bit of roof edge there. The top part of that, you need to prime it. Nothing will stick to it. So we're gonna prime it, and then we're gonna put a lick of caulking on there too. Get that done. So we just want to get the vulnerable areas that would just really be a problem, and then, we don't mind doing all this. It just wasn't in our work order. And then typically on other things, I'll let the customer know, hey, we probably should do this, we probably should do that, we probably should do this. Or, show them how to do it. It's not hard. So, but I don't like the fact that, like you said, there's no caulking in here. I don't like all that. If it was mine, I'd have it all sealed up. And I certainly don't like over the windows. So probably going to at least do that much, because that's something somebody would forget, and that would be a serious problem. So you already have something back there, not very much, but on here you have nothing. So let's get to work on some of this other stuff. But you look in here, looks like they got a really good amount in there on this corner. So that looks much better than all the other ones. I don't know why the other ones aren't done like that. So okay, let's get to work. So I got another strike on the top. Put a strike up there, and I went around this window. And then also went along the base here. Like I said, we put a strike down there. Then we filled in these. You can probably faintly see that. I used a clear for that to get in there on those plugs. So we run around the rest, and I even went over this here. That's a clear, believe it or not. It'll turn clear, comes out white, turns clear. Then, as I'm walking around the coach, lo and behold, what do I see? You look at these, you go, wow, that's a cool feature. These are cool features they add to some of these things, which in a way, maybe it is. This is a, you put a doodad in there, I guess, and you can leash your dog here. That's what it's for. So I'm looking at this, but right up in here, there's no caulking in there. There's no caulking. So water's going to go down in here. Then this is barely covered with any caulking on this side. I don't know if you can see it in there. Barely covered. So then my next concern, see, but they did caulk around here. They come around here and they come around here. You go, hey, that's pretty smart because it screws, right? Well, you're going to get water in here, aren't you? If this water gets in here, where's it going to go? It's going to sit right in here. it's got to go somewhere. So eventually it's going to rust out these screws. And then you're going to have a leak. Go down here. And it'll cause problems. And then it'll get on the wall. Blah, blah, blah. And also see right here on the speaker. That wasn't sealed too well. These are things that, you know, I'm trying to show folks what to look for when we do these. These are the little things, and people say, hey, what caused that leak? Just a little bit of caulking you missed. Really? Yeah, but it takes years. It's chronic leaks. These aren't, water isn't going to billow in. You're going to get droplets of water in here. And these droplets of water are what going to cause you problems. It's called a chronic leak. So what we got to do is I want to take this apart. I got this cool little DeWalt. If you don't have one, you may want to pick one up. They're not expensive. But then what you do, see the battery will show you it's on. Here's a trigger down here. And if you squeeze the trigger, you can see it's lighted up. Watch the tip. As you slowly turn your wrist, the more you turn your wrist, so you can go either which way. I want to see if I can get a few cups of coffee today. Maybe stop the shakes here. So I want to see what's going on. Hopefully I'm wrong. I just don't believe I am. I'd rather find out. And this woman here, she came all the way from Connecticut down here to, we're just south of Chattanooga, Tennessee, a couple of miles, so it's a long trek. So I want to see what we got in this thing. Because if water's going to fester in there, we're definitely going to have some problems with it. So I don't mind doing a prudent inspection here. I prefer to have this thing all rot out. Come on, come on. Maybe I need more coffee. So that's on there pretty tight. So I'm going to have to loosen that up. I got to get something else. I want to kind of loosen that up. And my concern is right here. That's all my concern is, but I got to take all these out to do it. Let me go get something else. All right, now that I got that, I can see they did not put caulking there, and that is a plus. That is good. They just ran down to here in this corner and that corner, which is smart. There's still nothing up here on the top, so I'm going to seal that so I don't have any extra water just trying to work its way or sit there. Because you get water in there, and then when the water sits there, when it turns to obviously the ice, it's going to expand, and I don't want it to kind of work this loose or break anything. So I'm just going to put a bead up in here, and I'll reseal all this, what I did. And then this is fine, so I can leave it alone. But I would have liked to have seen that gap a little better. So I don't know if I'm going to try and see if I can get a washer. I'm going to put a washer behind here to kind of just hold that off just a skosh, so the water can come through here that gets in there. Some washers. I'm going to put them right behind there. I'm going to put them right up behind there just to hold that out a bit. Like I said, when I reseal it, I'm going to probably have to put a couple in there. And then I'm going to go around and just seal the thing up. But I do want to keep a little gap there for that water. That's just too much in there. The other issue, now that I'm thinking about it, see if they have one on here. Nope, this is a different type. But if you have the latches that come over and snap down, those little cups, or if it's on the door, those little cups, they'll hold water too. And if it's on the door, especially that cup, it'll sit there and it'll start rotting out the whole edge down here. So we've rebuilt quite a few doors. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, let me get to work getting this thing back together. All right, we got her all sealed up. So you can look under here. They got a nice trough up underneath there. So now the water will be able to come out. Okay. See if I can see it up in there. There you go, you can see it coming out there. So any water that comes in, okay, it'll throw it down. That's what you want. Okay, well, we appreciate you watching. I just wanted to show you these other pointers that I come across. You know, I want to make sure they go out. And some of the things are just vulnerable, and they cause more damage than what you really would believe. And they don't care when they roll them out. Get them built, get them out, get them sold. We showed that time and time again. Everybody asks me, hey, which one's the best? Which one's better than the other? They're all the same. If I took the decals off of this thing, you wouldn't recognize it from any other brand. You really wouldn't. I mean, all they do is change the design, but I mean, structurally and everything, you wouldn't know. When I say the design, I mean like the floor plan, the decor, maybe the cabinets. But the siding and the construction, almost the arches are all pretty close to the same. There's a few different designs like that. But as a rule, I mean, put it this way, if you can tell them apart, I can't. They're all the same. So not one is better than the other. And the truth of the matter is I don't own one. So that may tell you something right there. But I would like to see that. Like I said, I'll bring that to her attention to have this whole thing sealed up a little tighter. There is some caulking in there, like I mentioned. I just like a little tighter. You know, something a little better. Take a little time, and this is something that folks can do on their own. It isn't hard, it's just tedious, you know, going around maybe some of these lights, you know, stuff like that, especially in these door cracks right there. You want to fill that in there too with something, because the water will get in there and it'll start wicking up and it'll rot behind that fiberglass. Okay, thank you. Say goodbye to our Cherokee. Back to Connecticut she goes.